Hi guys, usual 10:30 embargo please this evening. A show of hands for the mics guys please, and if you could give your name and organisation for your question.
Good afternoon, Pep. Ben at Sky. I don't know if you saw or heard the quotes from Ernesto Valverde, who suggested that you've acted improperly by speaking to Frankie de Jong when he was contracted at Ajax. Do you think you've done anything wrong in that situation?
No answer. No answer that. Ernesto is my friend, so no problem at all. So de Jong is play Ajax, will be Barcelona. Finish.
But as a manager, when you're trying to sign a player, is it not right that you should be able to speak to the player and try and convince him to come to your club?
I don't want to talk about that. It's over. So it's not our players, it's not our business. So now it's focusing Newcastle game.
You have spoken in the last couple of weeks about the challenges of competing with the likes of Barcelona when you are trying to buy players. So what needs to change for Manchester City to be able to do that?
So first of all, I'm not involved in the negotiations about the players. I give my opinion, and we do our best. And I'm so satisfied. The club is incredible, working perfect. And sometimes the players come, sometimes go in another place. That's normal. It's not the first time it happened. It's not the last time it's going to happen. So it's no problem at all. So all the big clubs sometimes decide. The common players, and the reality is what it is. We accept that sometimes it's not possible, and nothing happens. So we have enough players to play tomorrow with 11 players in the pitch. That is the point.
Pep, Mandy from Premier League News. After the game at Newcastle last season, you said it was difficult to play against a side like that when they're so defensive. So as a manager, how do you adapt to that so you can still play your own game?
Well, Newcastle play quite similar system, like for example Barley, the setup it was similar, will be quite similar, and of course every team is completely different. It depends on the setup, and from our experience in the last 2 seasons with Newcastle, with my colleague always was tough. We won 0-1 there, 3-1 here when Leroy make an incredible in action, 2-1 this season, so always was tight. And I can imagine that is going to happen tomorrow because they defend really well. But also in the same time, I have the feeling that in this kind of defense, we attack better. We know the process. We play many times against this type of defense, and we control better their own counterattacks, and we concede few set pieces, and we attack more fluently. So it's insisting that.
How impressed have you been with the way that Rafa Benitez has kept them in the Premier League, given that he's not had a lot of money to spend?
Well, his success in everywhere, his good job speaks for itself. Nothing to add.
Pep, Simon Stone, BBC. You play before Liverpool this week, and then you play before them again at the weekend. Does that make any difference when the gap's like it is? Can you put some pressure on them?
In both situations, when we play later, when we play early, the only chance we have is win the games. If not, we'll be almost over. So every game for us is a final, and in the cup competitions we are playing also is a final, because against Bali was a final. So what should we do when playing after? We have to win. What should we do playing before? We have to win. So,
but sometimes when there's more pressure, it might be harder.
I think they all the teams that want to win or fight for win the titles, they have to feel the pressure. They feel the pressure. Everybody, we have the pressure. We feel the pressure. So it's what it is. We have to handle it. So it's not. It's I think 14 games left. So many points to play. Many games to play in difficult circumstances, with a lot of games in our legs, in our minds. So change competitions day by day. So. It's not, believe me, my advice is not to think too much about that. It's after you distract, you don't think what we have to do. So what is the same with Barley? Which system we play? With 4, with 5 in the back, with 4 in the middle, 2 strikers, 1 striker. imagine what Newcastle is going to play the game and focus what we have to do. That is the only way to be consistent and try to win every game.
Can I just ask you about one of your under-23 players, Rabbi Matondo? There's a story that he may go to Schalke, he may go somewhere. Do you know anything about that?
Yeah, I have some comments, I heard about that they are interested in another young player. So, but I don't know who's going to finish. I know how good he is. He's a winger, so fast, incredible, fast player, quick, and a young talent. So, again, that is a good signal how good this club is working.
Pep McGuinness, TalkSport. Is that a valid point? How good this club is developing players, regardless of whether they play for the first team here?
No, all the players are in the academy. I said many times, we trust in them. They want to be patient, they want to stay, they want to move, want to leave, they want to leave. So, no problem.
And just about the forthcoming fixtures, obviously have Newcastle then a very busy week, the rearranged game with Everton. And again, that week with 3 key games, Arsenal, Everton, Chelsea, is that what you would consider to be a positive thing because you can get in pole position in the title race again if you win all those games?
Newcastle, first one. And after we'll see next week. It's the same. Everybody involved in Liverpool. We lost against Crystal Palace and Leicester. So Newcastle, next week, we're going to speak next week.
Just final one, any new injury concerns? How's Vincent, Benjamin?
Benjamin much better, Vincent is still out.
Stuart Brenner, Manchester Evening News. I think we were all surprised at the weekend when Fernandinho started. Could you tell us why you decided to start him and how he's going to be going forward?
Barley, the one of the strong points they have is the long balls, the set pieces. I didn't know the lineup. At the end, didn't play with Vokes, with Woods, with Barnes. And in these kind of games, Fernandinho is so important. And I didn't know which system they use, with 2 strikers or just one without 10. I didn't know it, and also Fernandinho, of course, rest a little bit in the last weeks, and with 34 years old sometimes he needs also the rhythm, don't stop too much, and he played 65, 70 minutes, was good.
Do you feel he can play because you've got 5 games in 12 days? Do you think he can play, or do you think you found a solution to rotating Fernandinho now?
Well, everybody. So last game, Sterling, Sané, David Silva didn't play. So Fernandinho played. Maybe next one is not going to play. Of course, I see the game, but a little bit Arsenal, Everton, the way they play, the type of game we're going to face. And of course, in that situation, I make the decisions. So, but he's strong. Fernandinho is strong at that point. I think he feels good right now. He's not feel really tired. I think he rests in the last games. But the reason why was a little bit Burnley, for the set pieces, for the 12 players. And I think Fernandinho helped a lot to our central defenders and fullbacks.
Okay, guys, we're in embargo, please, for 10:30.